Hello, once again, and welcome to the podcast, Crypto Podcast with me, Coach 23, where we talk about pro wrestling, pop culture, and life in general. Still haven't, take care of the dried laundry, but I will take care of it later. So yeah, welcome back. It's Wednesday here in Manila, Tuesday night in the States, or at least right now, Wednesday morning in the East Coast in the US. Or not yet. No, we still have it 11:30. So yeah, it's still Tuesday night in the States. So yeah, it's NXT. So welcome to What's Next or wanted What's NXT edition of the podcast Crypto Podcast. So we're here to discuss everything at NXT and among other things. So let's go right directly to the show. So first up, stack lineup for today's NXT. They're back from the road. Last week they were in Atlanta. Now they're back in the Performance Center in Orlando. And yeah, it's a packed show. So show opened with Stephanie Rucker facing one third of Fatal Influence and JC Jane. Uh, I have to apologize because I'm just reading the results. I haven't really watched the first half. I slept. I came from a shift. I slept. I had the only segment I really saw was the main event, the tag team match, the main event. But yeah, but based on the result that I've read, it's actually a good match between the two women. And Stephanie Ricker, with all her wrestling wisdom, from Japan, all over the world, being a Chilean-born wrestler, she's starting to really not really great. This the word ingrate, or he's immersing herself now in the WWE style of wrestling, and I guess it's easy for her to do. And yeah, she's improving. I'm just surprised that they're not putting her in the main event spot for for NXT Women's title. She's going to challenge Fallon Henley at Vengeance Day for the Women's North American title. But if you ask me, she's in the same vein or level as Julia. But I guess we'll cross the bridge when we get there. They already had like a few run-ins in NXT, both in NXT and last weekend in Royal Rumble. But they're more on friendly terms in Royal Rumble because of both being NXT wrestlers. So yeah. But in the end, Stephanie Booker will win, and that's it. That's for the first match. Afterwards, there's a segment. Lexus King made an announcement. Heritage Cup champion. So according to him, um, he is disbanding the British round rules for the Heritage Cup and instead making it only a winner takes all, meaning one pinfall, and that's it. My son is eating eggnog biscuit, so he's quiet and watching Moana again for the 100th time. So, but yeah, then afterwards, Fandango's music hits and he makes his way to the ring. According to Fandango, he introduces himself as JDC. He represents TNA Wrestling's The System. So I guess that's one step of us, WWE fans, waiting for that possible moose sighting in NXT. That's one part of the system that's already there. So, and he's challenging Lexus King in a future match for the Heritage Cup. Then afterwards, Rich Holland then makes his way down to the ring. He's currently feuding with the family. Tony D'Angelo's the family, and right now he's on a match with Stax. Um, although, yeah, this is a typical Rich Holland match. Him being a power wrestler. What's surprising? Not really so surprising because the families, I believe, is in the feud with Sean Spears' team in NXT. Uh, but yeah, Tony D'Angelo is really also hitting his stride. Although, no, after winning the title from Obafemi, it's a bit, his title run is a little bit timid compared to, when he was chasing the title. I guess it's more really because, as I said, a few last few episodes, that the women's division of NXT is so stacked right now. And if you add Raw and SmackDown, they're all super stacked. Then, but the NXT men's division is kind of lacking in promotion. And, I guess I don't even need to say it, but I believe Shawn Michaels and the guys on the creative team in NXT knows this already or knew this already. So that's why, because according to Sean Spears, when he did an interview with Chris Van Vliet right now, he's working two jobs with WWE. He's a wrestler and he's also a producer for NXT. He's assisting Shawn Michaels and creative team for our development of wrestlers. So according to him, titles are not really in his mind right now. Being a main eventer is not in his mind right now as long as being promoted accordingly, but he's more on helping out the newer or younger guys in NXT. So I guess it's understandable. But him versus Tony D'Angelo in a match, I believe this will also elevate Tony D'Angelo more in terms of him being a single star. And yeah, in the end, Rich Holland won with the Cradle DDT. That's actually an impressive move. I'm impressed with that Cradle because it's hard to carry someone and hit a DDT and protect him. And we all know that Rich Holland, he's a safe guy in terms of being a powerhouse. I know what happened with Big E was really a freak accident in nature in terms of him being injured, and I'm still wishing Big E can still compete, and we all miss him, right? So yeah, but Reed Holland in NXT really, helping his character and development. For me, if you ask me personally, he took the spot of uh Dijakovic or Dijak of being like that monster gatekeeper type wrestler. I'm not saying it's okay for him to lose every time, but that's his case right now. It's really okay for him to lose matches and still be a big name. He's a heel. He loses every time, if you ask me. Um, yeah, but that's my prerogative. Then afterwards, it's a women's tag team match again. It's Zarya and Sol Ruka teaming up to take on Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan with Shotzi. So yeah, well, I believe Ava Rain or Ava General Manager Ava set this match in social media saying that there's drama in the women's locker room. Yeah, there is every time. But yeah, great tag team match, great chemistry among the four ladies. Uh, in the end, it's an F5. Saraya really is a powerhouse. I was actually she's actually one of those best guess or prediction to appear at Women's Royal Rumble last weekend, but I guess she's not ready for some reason. Maybe the eyes of management, but next year she'll definitely be there. And can't wait because remember, if you've seen NXT last year when they had the 10 women tag team main event, there's this a little bit eyeballing between Zarya and Jordan Grace, and both are powerhouse wrestlers for the women's division. Can't wait for that match. But in the end, for this one, Saraya and Rosal Ruka won. Soul Snatcher Dolan for the win. It's actually one of the most impressive cutters version or variation of the cutter there is. It's really, really that impressive. I know you have to set it up, but yeah, that's the sense of disbelief in pro wrestling that, yeah, you can do that in real life. Who knows? Those parkour guys could possibly do that in a fight, but in real life, yeah, of course not. But that's the thing. That's you can't do a swanton bomb on a wrestler if you're in a real fight. Drop kick even if unless you're really that guy. Only a flying head scissor when the cop did that in I believe in when they were trying to arrest someone. A cop did a flying head scissor. I guess you can do some things in wrestling in real life as well. But don't kids don't try this at home. Even adults, please don't. Come on. These are trained professional folks. So afterwards it's women's summit for the NXT Women's Championship. Bailey, Julia, and Roxanne Perez. So Roxanne Perez opened up the summit and saying, you know what, she's going to win. If you ask me, Roxanne Perez right now, last year I could say that she when she has her ascension for being the women's champion for NXT, she's okay there. But after her performance at the Royal Rumble this past weekend, she is main event, main roster ready now. She just need to tweak her character a little bit because the way she do her interviews, it's similar when how Liv Morgan talks. I guess it's just my in my mind, but I guess she needs to tweak it a little bit, and afterwards she's okay. I don't know how. If you ask me how, there are certain you know wrestlers, female wrestlers can do interviews in a similar, but even in the men's side, uh, there was if you go to like the pandemic, the Thunderdome era, there was like when Drew McIntyre was still a babyface. He did interviews or mannerisms similar with how John Cena talks, although he's Scottish. But the way his mannerism, the way he bobs his head while talking, it's similar with John Cena. And why I'm looking at Roxanne Perez doing interviews, it's similar with how Liv Morgan do the bop, the head bop of "Hey, let me tell." So I guess she needs to tweak it a little bit to differentiate herself from the other wrestlers. Bailey has a distinct, promo. Not Natalia has the same thing. Bianca Belair, she talks about, I guess, you know, yeah, she talks, how she really talks. Like, like a female rapper, if you ask me, along with Naomi, Jade Cargill. But yeah, Roxanne Perez needs to tweak her promo. She has a promo skill. She can talk. It's just the mannerism that has to change. The cadence of the tone, the cadence of the voice. I guess that's the one thing that she needs to tweak a little bit. But yeah, great promo between these three women. I like how Bailey is messing with Roxanne Perez's mind when she asked, if I don't win the NXT Women's Championship at Vengeance Day, I'll be okay with it. Will you? So no, best yet for me, best prediction for this with triple threat, Julia retains. That's it. She is that. Julia is hot between being her as a person or a wrestler and her character. Along with it's a good thing that they let Bailey do this right now. As early as this year, Bailey's kind of the MVP for the women's main roster because she's jumping from Raw, NXT. I believe right now she's Raw permanently, but a few weeks back, jumping from Raw, NXT, and SmackDown. That's impressive as F. And now she will be playing in a celebrity basketball game this weekend. Is it this weekend? Yeah, the NXT All Star weekend. She'll be playing in the All Star Celebrity Weekend. So afterwards, during the summit, Charlotte Flair came out. Like I guess, like if you saw my show yesterday with Raw Opinion, Charlotte said in the promo that she's looking for inspiration to challenge who to challenge at WrestleMania 41. Will it be Rhea? Now she's in NXT with eyeballing the NXT Women's Championship. Although she already said that yeah she won it 4 years ago or 3 years ago or 4 years ago or so, but she doesn't think it's a step down. But I think it is. But yeah, next then this coming weekend, she will be facing. I believe she will be going to SmackDown as well to challenge or see for that you know WWE Women's Championship, Tiffany Stratton. So yep. Then Cora Jade came out. She attacked Julian Bailey with kendo stick, and she does this. Yeah, and she looks to clock Roxanne as well. But I guess their friendship or partnership is kind of over. And if you ask me, it's kind of quick. They didn't drag it, but it's kind of quick now. Um, because I saw their partnership not really as like Trick or Carmelo Hayes, but it's more of like they can build it as like a Shawn Michaels Triple H type of friendship. Is Cora Jade turning a baby face right now by trying to attack Roxanne? Let Shawn Michaels cook, guys. Then afterwards, it's Kalani Jordan makes her way down the ring to face Carmen Petrovic, and Carmen, and I guess Carmen and Ashante T Adonis are now a thing. Um, Again, women are highlighted for NXT. For a 2 hour show, they're really so highlighted. But that's good. It's a good thing for the women's wrestling. And Jada Parker, I believe Jada Parker came out. No. Landed the second one. She stares down Parker, commentary this, and locks in a sleeper on Petrovic. Yeah, so she won. Kalani Jordan won via sleeper. Okay. Hmm. So I believe that they're trying to tweak Kalani Jordan's character. They're trying to add an edge that she didn't have when she was the first ever NXT Women's North American Championship. So I guess this is a good thing. I believe she'll be feuding with Jada Parker in the next few days. Then afterward, we go to the main event. Eight Down Under takes on the team of Oba Femi, current NXT champion, and Trick Williams. I believe Ava made a statement that if the team of Ova Femi and uh, Trick Williams wins, Trick is in the NXT Triple Threat Championship match, making it a fatal four-way at Vengeance Day. So, like I said last week, I believe this is more of a challenge to Obafemi of wrestling two main roster guys. Call Grayson Waller and Austin Theory mid carders or whatnot, but them being in in the mid card of the main roster, they are still able to take to to fight guys like have segments, have instances with guys like the main eventers like Cody Rhodes, your Kevin Owens, your Randy Ortons. So they already know how to tell a story in a sense, in a wrestling wise. So I believe this will be a challenge to Obafemi. Aside from him facing both eight down under wrestlers in a triple threat match for the NXT Championship at Vengeance Day. But man, like I said, uh, this was a great tag team match. I don't know where are they putting the character of Trick Williams now. Is he main roster ready? But right now he's still one of the most over guys in NXT. Remember, he even surpassed. He was supposed to be the hype guy for Carmelo Hayes. He was like Triple H circa 1996, 1997 DX to Shawn Michaels, leader of DX, to Carmelo Hayes. But things happen in pro wrestling, and what happened there was Trick Williams was became more over than Carmelo Hayes in NXT before Carmelo Hayes was drafted to SmackDown in the main roster. And they even had that, series of matches last year for the NXT Championship. Trick Williams was really great when he was facing Ilya Dragunov last year for the NXT Championship. He really improves his wrestling wise. I said, if I'm going to compare Trick Williams' ascension in NXT, was similar to Booker T in 1997 1998 when he was like facing guys like Chris Benoit for the TV title, because Booker T is not really a polished wrestler. He's a great overall entertaining wrestler, spinneroonie and whatnot. He hits his moves similar. I could go with the similar style of Trick Williams and Jey Uso. Both are not great technical wrestlers, but if you put them with guys with great technical skills, they can hold their own. They can make that match exciting just based on how they sell, how they tell their stories. So I guess that's one thing. Great tag team match, great interaction between the four men. In the end, the team of A Town down under one after Eddie Thorpe interfered with without the referee noticing. He hit Trick Williams with the leather strap, and that set up Grayson Waller's I don't know what you call that move. He goes out from the ring, rolls back, and he hits a jumping uh facebuster, or I believe the I forgot what it's called. But yeah, it's a move. It's a facebuster. It's like a finisher of. It's like gold standard or gold paid dirt by Shelton Benjamin, a jumping facebuster. Um, and they won. So it's still a triple threat match for the NXT Championship at Vengeance Day, and signaling, looking at how the trajectory of what do you call this? The trajectory of Trick Williams and Eddie Thorpe. It looks like a strap match is in order. Yeah. So yeah, that's it and the result for NXT. If you ask me, be reading the results, it's a decent stack show. Good show. Good stack show. It's not great by any standards. They hit their stride. Um, Even Booker T said that, you know what, there's a reason why NXT is doing well in the ratings right now. For the past 2 or 3 weeks, they're hitting more than 800,000 viewers per week, and that's after The Rock's appearance. Okay, we could go to that argument still if we're going to talk ratings and business talks. So there's this is the opinion based of side of things. So people are saying why are ratings important? I believe I said this in the first few episodes of this podcast. Ratings matter if you care about those things, especially if you care about the product. Not just a product, if you care about the show. People are saying why are people so adamant with AEW's ratings? Because at the first glance, if you know the news and the tweets, Tony Khan himself, the owner of AEW, tweets a lot about ratings. How, oh, we're 1 million and the other show is like 700, 800,000 back then in the USA Network. WWE didn't start this ratings war. AEW did. They did. They started this war. Tweets, Chris Jericho's, comments of during the pandemic era that in 3 to 6 months we'll be having the same ratings as Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw was doing like 1.5, 1.6 during the Thunderdome era. WWE does not care about ratings that much anymore. They care about sponsorship, which whichever network or company or shows, streaming sites that they have cares about as well. I believe in the states there's still commercial for Monday Night Raw on Netflix. In other countries internationally, there's none. Commercial are either what's happening behind the scenes, behind off camera during a commercial in the states, and some are like more of like promoting next show or whatever. Ratings matters because what if a company folds again? Similar with what happened with ECW. I'm sorry. They were in the TNN. They were in, I believe they were having like point 0.5 in ratings, which is like back then like 300, 400,000 on a Friday night at 10 p.m. for a 1 hour show. It was impressive as well until Viacom uh, had a deal with WWE that hey, we will pay you this much, and back then it was high at the time. And Vince, yeah, but WWE chose Viacom before US after you than USA Network. So the business talk is important because, like I said, if you're a consumer fan as well, you care. Because if it falls down, who will you blame? But right now, fans of AEW, the diehard sickos or fans, they're like, oh, ratings are not important because I'm going to say this. Last week, if you combine both Dynamite and Collision's ratings, in total, they couldn't even reach the total of NXT last week. NXT had like 820 plus or so. Dynamite last week had 605,000 viewers in TBS, and I believe in Collision had 197,000 last Saturday. These are the TV shows that Warner Media is paying between 150 million to 180 million per year. Sure, AEW is now and on Max as well in the States, but Max doesn't really release their top 10 segments of, top 10 movies. They have top 10 movies, they have top 10 TV series, and that's it. They don't have like, if you go to an Netflix, you have, top 10 movies, top 10 series overall. Then you have top 10 Philippine series if you're here in the Philippines, or top 10 in Korea, top 10 in Netherlands, top 10 in Canada. They have segments. Max doesn't have that. But people are saying, oh, according to them, according to Warner Media, according to dirt sheet writers, AEW is doing well with Max. They haven't even cracked the top 10 series there so far. I don't know if Revolution comes out via the Max streaming. Let's see. But so far, there's none. It's not showing. Um, as I told in the Wrestling Geeks podcast last Friday when I attended the show, AEW needs to change. And the aspect aside from the booker is that they need someone to represent them. Sure, they have the world champion in John Moxley, but John Moxley still acts like he's Stone Cold Steve Austin circa 1997, 1998. And people are saying, nah, it's okay because we're different. No, in order for AEW to succeed, you need someone to represent your business. You need to have that certain main event star. You have Adam Copeland now. You have Edge, Cope, or whatever his name is. You have Christian, great talkers. I know fans will say, even especially, this is from the WWE fan side, they will say, they're old. But I guess if you ask me, they can still go. They can still represent AEW if they can. As long as they don't act like hypocrites, like it's the best thing ever. Because they're talking like that. Adam Copeland did, the promo last year of, hey, this is AEW, we're the best wrestler. Dude, you came from WWE. I know you're talking because you're part of AEW, but isn't like it a disservice from the company that heavily promoted you to who you are as a performer? It's weird. It's tribalism at best. WWE, when you ask WWE guys from interviews what do you think about AEW, I don't think that they will say anything negative about AEW because in their mind, one, they're winning the proverbial war, the non-existent war, and they have friends. Kevin Owens still best friends with Adam Cole and the Young Bucks, which in happens in WWE hates CM Punk, but they do it professionally. Seth Rollins is also good friends with Claudio Castagnoli, John Moxley from AEW, Young Bucks. They're good friends with them, but they don't say anything negative. Even Cody Rhodes. It's either Cody Rhodes signed a non-disclosure agreement saying I won't say anything negative about AEW, but it's there. If you can see, if you know how to see nuances, meaning the small things about how people talks and how they act. Chris Van Vliet last year during his interview with Cody Rhodes, you haven't said anything negative about AEW. And if you look at Cody's like, and I will never will. So AEW needs to change. WWE has Roman Reigns. They have Cody. They have CM Punk. Represents the company in talk shows, in other even podcasts, and they speak decently. They don't trash their competition. AEW needs to change. They need someone to represent them. Who is it? Chris Jericho can't do it anymore because he's more of like, yeah, he talks trash against WWE. Same with MJF in times. Some things needs to change with AEW in order for them to reach that level that they had way back in 2019, 2020, 2021 when they were still good in my opinion. Right now, they're not. Last year they announced that AEW Grand Slam will be this year. this month in Australia. They tried leasing out a 50,000, 60,000 stadium. They weren't able to match it. They had like 10,000 or 13,000 right now. And they have a decent number internationally. But remember, they they did some things as well. I get it that 81,000 people paid for All In 2 years ago. They weren't able to get the same sales this last year, 50 I believe. Decent number still. Paid number, this is also, I guess this is just me and my opinion. There was like a few times in WWE Royal Rumble that's weird. Stephanie McMahon, the announcers Michael Cole and Pat McAfee, as well as Paul Levesque said that 70,000 was in attendance for Royal Rumble. Here's the thing, and people in the internet wrestling community or those younger fans don't know this. WWE gives complimentary tickets to their wrestlers and most of their employees if they ask and if they can give that. Vince McMahon trying stopping it before WrestleMania 39 said no comp ops, no comp tickets. Meaning if a Randy Orton said I need 10 tickets, they give it for free for Randy Orton. I believe Randy Orton said in an interview they stopped comp tickets. I have to pay for my family to be there. So it's an extra revenue for WWE. Comp tickets are free for wrestlers. So uh it's like a thing that imagine that if 65,000 people paid tickets for a Royal Rumble and they said 70,000, imagine they give 5,000 complimentary tickets in attendance. And maybe in attendance they could also say backstage workers, engineers, technicians, maintenance, you know, the people who sell hot dogs and popcorns and sodas or beers to the in the arena. It's part of the attendance. They still watch the show, so it's important to them. So it's not really a bloated number because it's possibly the truth as well. It's just not the paid attendance. If even a CM Punk said um 82 Tony Khan said 82,000 was in paid attendance. Yeah, that's impressive. 80,000 paid for tickets, meaning that you didn't really give complimentary tickets at all. That's great. That's great for AEW's business. But according to the London, registry, Turnstile turned up 71,000 or 70,000 or so. They bloated numbers as well, but it's quite factual. So AEW needs to change in order for them to compete right now, even just in NXT's level. You cannot say people cannot really say. I can speak for more a couple of more minutes. People cannot say that NXT is on a cheat code because in the US they're on free TV, meaning they're TV5 here in Manila or GMA5 or GTV or whatnot. It's free. It's not cable. But it doesn't really matter if there's 150 households in the states, and for TBS or TNT they have 60 million subscribers. It doesn't matter how many. What matters is the numbers of viewership, meaning the people who watches the show. So it's 100. If you're going, it's a minuscule amount. 115 household for free TV for CW, and only 800,000 are watching for WWE, and 600 are watching for TNA or for AEW in TNT, and they had 60 million viewers. It's like 1% of their subscribers or whatnot. It's what matters is not the numbers of household, it's the number of viewership. And right now AEW is losing one. People are saying, Raw is losing. Raw lost viewership for Netflix on a live capacity and not really on a day-to-day basis. Because if I'm going to my VPN service, jumping from one country to another, Raw or whatever show, it's already always on the top 10, top 7, top 8. They're still doing a mark, just not on live audience itself. So I guess in terms of right, even a little, even if you're not a consumer fan, even if you're just a viewer right now, you need to be worried about certain stuff like this. Because if something folded, if something closed down, who's to blame? right? So yeah, thank you everyone for watching, listening, viewing. What's next? Meaning, my show for NXT here at the podcast, Crypto Podcast with me, Coach 23. We're talking about pro wrestling, pop culture, and life in general. So see you guys soon. I will try to watch AEW Dynamite live tomorrow because I have my VPN. I have a Max subscription. Try to watch it with an open mind and see what's up. So thank you guys. I'll see you guys soon.